How you doing, guys? I have this 2011 Toyota Camry with doing wheel bearings. I'm gonna do both sides, but I'm just gonna show you one. This is the wheel bearing that we're using from Duromax, and we're replacing everything. The customer wants everything being replaced, so we have the hub bearing, new retaining clip, and new axle nut. First thing to do, remove the axle nut. Do this step while the car is on the ground. For this step, I have my punch set because the axle nut, it has a little dent to lock it in place. I had to remove that. And for this step, you need a 30mm socket, not the 6-point, but the 12-point. 6-point will not work. You have to have the 12-point. I have my brake bar and my socket. If it doesn't work like that, let's use a cheater bar. Once it's loose, don't remove it all the way. Just make sure that you got it kind of loose, then you can jack up the car and remove the tire. Now that the car is in the air, I can remove the two 17mm bolts that hold the bracket for the caliper. This one. Second one on the bottom. Before you remove the caliper, you have a 12mm right here that holds the brake line in place. Remove that one. Brake line out of the way. Now we can remove caliper bolts. Caliper is out of the way. It's really in place. On the bottom, you're going to have to remove the lower control arm, and on top you have these two bolts right here, so we need to remove those two to get the whole assembly out. Right here, I don't know if you can see it, we have the speed sensor, 10mm. Remove that one as well. Speed sensor is out. For the speed sensor, this bracket is just held in place. Push on the two little clips. Right here, just pull it and pull it out. And you get the speed sensor out of the way. To remove these two nuts and bolts, which one is underneath, one here on top, 22mm. Same thing for the other one. Those are really tight. Brake bar don't fit, and this one is too small, so bring in the Big Daddy. For the lower control arm, you have 2 nuts and a bolt on the bottom. Those are 70mm. I'm gonna show you when I remove everything how they look like. Now remove the pin for the tie rod end. Get it out, and you have a castle nut, 17mm as well. This one, I'm just gonna hit it with a hammer right here to get him loose. That's out. Now I just have to remove all the bolts and remove the axle nut and get the whole assembly out. We're not gonna need this. That's why we need to replace it, because it's gonna be dangerous to use these ones again. So you gotta use new ones. These are the 2 nuts and a bolt on the lower control arm. So remove those 3 and everything is out. Now let's get this wheel bearing out. To get access to the wheel bearing, we have to remove this cover. It's like a little dust cover. Try to pull it out, just be careful so you don't get it damaged. When you put it back on, remember that you have to put the hole with this one for the speed sensor. Now we have access to the wheel bearing, and it's gonna be the same process like in my Accord. If you haven't watched that, check that episode. I'm gonna put it in the description. Same process to remove these wheel bearings. First, we're gonna remove the center part, which is gonna be the hub. Then we can get to the bearing. We have here the retaining clip. I'm gonna try to remove it with my pliers, because with this one I struggle a lot. So let's see if it works. Okay, it works a lot better with the pliers. Now the retaining clip is out. Now we can hit it with the hammer to remove the center part. This socket that I have, 1/4, is just the size. So let me see if I can get it out like that. So you guys know that if you wanna reuse these hubs, you have to cut this part of the bearing so you can pull it out. Good thing that my customer buy new ones, I don't have to worry about it. They're still in good condition, they don't have a lip, but we're gonna put new ones. Remember, we remove the clip from this side, so the wheel bearing has to come out that side. From my kit, I have this one and this plate that is gonna fit on top of it, and it's gonna fit on the edge of where the wheel bearing goes. So we set it up like that. From the other side, I pick this little plate that is gonna fit right in the wheel bearing. So we're gonna push it that way. For this side, my 1/1/4. From the other side, I have my 1/1/8. I always have these two sockets because those are specifically for my kit. So if you wanna buy this kit to remove wheel bearings, you need to have this type of socket. Yeah, finally, bearing is out. Same way now, we gotta push from this side, push the bearing in. That's the old bearing. Match the new one. So for the new one, we gotta repeat this process. Bearing, make sure everything is clean. Bearing has to go in this way. This one is the same size as the bearing. That one is better. So this is the exact same size. We just have to push the bearing in from this side to receive the bearing. We can have one that is large enough to just cover there because we gotta push it in. So I don't worry about that. It has to be like that. From this side, this one. That's it. Now what we gotta do, just do the same process. Push the bearing in. I think I reached the bottom already. Doesn't wanna go no more. Okay, so it's all the way in. It sits properly. Now we can put our new retaining clip. Yeah, just what I thought. So on this new clip, I match it with the other one. Make sure that you try to match everything. This one is not gonna fit, too small. That's what I thought as soon as I get it. You can see a lot smaller on the new one. So this one is still in good shape. I don't worry about that. As long as it holds the bearing in place, it should be good. Put it like that. Again, I'll put it with the pliers. Hopefully it goes in the first time because these ones are my nemesis. Sometimes they're hard to put it on or remove. Make sure that it sits all the way in. Just to make sure. Yep. So our clip is everything in place. The difficult part is already done. If you flip it now, you can put a new hub. Same process, just put it in. Make sure that it goes straight. After that, we can grab any plate, it doesn't matter. Like that. So we have it like that. On the other side, we're just gonna receive it, but we don't want to damage the bearing. So we're gonna grab the same plate that we used before. It's gonna sit exactly where the bearing goes, so it doesn't damage the bearing. Then we're just gonna bring it home. Okay guys, we have our first one complete. Now you can see new hub, everything looks and feels good, sits in place correctly. Last but not least, we gotta put kind of like this dust cover. Remember to put it matching the holes right here. And just tap it. The process is pretty much the same as removal. Make sure that you take the car to alignment once you get done with this, because definitely you guys gonna need alignment. Put it on the lower control arm first, then put your axle, put the nuts on the bottom lower control arm just to keep it in place. Then we'll work it out. Okay, new axle nut. Remember, when you torque this down, you have to torque it to the exact specifications, because see, if this is too loose or too tight, it's gonna wear out the wheel bearing really quick. I'm gonna link all the torque specs in the description, because pretty much this process is the same as removal. I hope you like this episode, guys. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm gonna be happy to help. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one. Peace.